Everybody doing? I just wanted to jump on real quick and talk to you guys a little bit about the wheat and the tares and how important it is to separate yourself from people that no longer serve your highest and greatest good. Some of my clients that I meet with, we have pretty in-depth conversations about relationships and boundaries in those relationships. So I'm going to give you guys a quick story time, okay? Let's just say we have a lady who is dating a gentleman, and the gentleman decides to move to another state. Would you all leave the door open for him to come back as he pleases? Or do you wish him well and move on with your life to find a better fit? I want y'all to, and this goes for men as well as women. So I want y'all to drop the comments. Drop the comments. Welcome in. Drop your comments. Hey, Key. So did you hear the question? The question was, and I'm starting a story time, but I want to ask this question on how you would handle a situation if you're dating somebody and then he decides to move to another state. Do you keep the door open for him to come back as he pleases? Or do you wish him well and, you know, close that chapter? Because if you're looking for a companion, a mate, apparently that's not a good fit. Because it's really hard to have relationships when you're in the same city. But that adds another level of complications and difficulty when someone moves to another state, and that's it. So I want to share this story time with you, and then I want to break it down in a biblical way, so that I'm not trying to change the way that you're seeing things. Wish them well and move on. If he was a karmic, a twin flame will always be welcome. I want to make sure I completely understand what you said. Wish them well, right? There's no hard feelings, and move on. We would move on with our life. If you said if he was a karmic, and I'm going to go really in detail about some things, y'all, about the topics that I talk about. So, Key, let's get on your point about a karmic. So for people that don't understand what a karmic is someone that you have a past life relationship with that was left open, and you're kind of left holding a bag, not really knowing what happened. So you get to do it over again in this life to see if you can close out that karmic relationship in a way that does not steal your power. So you got to make a decision. Am I going to leave this door open for this man or for this woman to come and go as they please, like a revolving door? Or will I wish him well and shut the door so that my twin flame, soulmate, or whatever can come in? This particular client left the door open. Now I'm going to go deep here. Y'all put on your safety jackets, okay? He told her that he was doing witchcraft on her. But he changed his mind because he started really having feelings for her. Now come on, y'all. The first thing is, if someone is doing witchcraft on you, they're not doing it by themselves. They have a group, because there is a concerted effort to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And, you have to look at, why would I keep a door open to someone who told me they wanted to hurt me, but they changed their mind because they grew feelings for me? Now, how can you trust that? There's a couple of things I want to touch on. The first thing is, if you keep that door open, number one, there is a self-love issue going on within yourself. And that's why we need to do shadow work. When we do not do shadow work, we're not able to see the true person. We're able to see what we're projecting onto the person, what we want them to be, or the characteristics that we carry, the beautiful characteristics. So just like people project ugly feelings, emotions towards you because they're jealous or whatever, or envious, we, as mostly women, but some men, project onto people the good characteristics that we carry when that's not who they are, right? So that's a self-love issue. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is she said her ancestors told her to run. That's number 2. And then there's number 3. I told her, right, that this is not good for you. And then I said, do you want to keep these doors open? So while we're on the phone, she said, okay, I'm going to block him, but I feel so bad if that's not true. You have 3 confirmations. When you have 3 different sources telling you something, that is your ancestors trying to get your attention. They're trying to tell you something that if you continue on this path, you can have very dire consequences. Dire consequences. Life and death consequences. So the ancestors helped her. He told her. And then I shared my perspective with her. Now, she was concerned that what if he really likes me? And I'm not making light of it, but when you get 3 things that's telling you no about a person, that's confirmation. That is saying no, don't. This is not going to end well for you. But again, like I always say, we have free will. Our ancestors are going to warn us. They're going to send us people. They're going to do these things. But at the end of the day, this is our life that we chose to live, and we are going to have to make the choices, the decisions on how we're going to move forward, right? Now, this is where I get into the Bible, speaking of the wheat and the tares. If she continues to go in this relationship, I can tell you it's not going to end well, right? But she was giving her warnings. When you get your warnings from your spirit team, when you get your warning from your higher self, when you get your warning from a spiritual guide that is co-signing everything that you already know, then it's best for you to cut ties. I'm not going to say you have to, because you don't. But what will happen is you'll have a whole nother lesson that you're going to have to live a whole nother lifetime to learn. Who wants to do that? And like I said, if he, because something just happened. So that's why these are the wheats and the tares. Very pivotal point in nature and in humanity, where you stay with people that are not right for you, you can wake up unalived, period. Because they have access to you. But when you close those doors, that's it. And then the ancestors can protect you. So there was a lot of different messages that I received to share this message that I'm sharing with you guys, because there are some people. This is another thing, and this is across the board, worldwide, in all relationships. We're all being tested over one test. This is her test too. This was her example of her test, but we're all being tested, and there is one test. Who are you going to choose? Somebody else? Or are you going to choose you? This is the ultimate self-love guide or measure. When you stick with someone who does not treat you well, who does not take care of your heart, who does not take care of your soul, who does not care about your feelings, who does not consult you when they decide to move to another state, we have to do our shadow work so we can see clearly. And it's not with these eyes, it's with the third eye. It's with the third eye. We have to be able to see behind the veil of, okay, If he really liked me, why didn't he consult with me about moving? And if he really liked me, why would he just up and move? Why would he want to keep the door open to come in and out as he pleases? Who gets to come in and out of your life as they please? We have to get to a point where we value ourselves more. I said, if you had $5 million in the bank, would you let him just come in and out of your life like that? She's like, no, why not? Because you have too much to lose. Okay, you still have too much to lose without the $5 million because we're talking about your soul. Because if you don't pass these tests, you can't evolve. If you don't pass these tests, you can't move forward. If you don't pass these tests, you cannot ascend because you're not passing the tests. The way you move forward and ascend is passing the tests. You can't get around it. That's why, in the age of Pisces that we came out of, we could buy our way to the top. We could sleep our way to the top. We could rub shoulders with people at the top, and if they like us, they'll let us in. Not with ascension. Ascension is the only way you're going to get there is by passing the spiritual tests, and you don't know what the test is going to be. I'm coming to give y'all a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet is, and this is to everybody listening, pass it around, share it, everything you want. You're going to have to decide between you and somebody else. And if you choose that somebody else because you don't want to end a relationship that you've been in for 27 years, but you ain't got shit from it, then you chose somebody else, meaning you didn't choose your higher self, which is the manifestation of the God within you. You chose somebody else. You chose something else. You didn't choose God, which is within you. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in this world. Who will you choose? This is the test everybody is going to have to take. I'm telling y'all, I talk to a lot of people. It's somebody, it's always somebody. They don't want you to ascend. Sometimes people have done things that they're not able to ascend, like selling their soul. But if you with somebody who can ascend, but you can't ascend, what are they going to try to do? Hold you back so you can be with them? So y'all can all be miserable? No. And so that's the message I wanted to share with you that the ancestors have been speaking to me about. And I'm tempted to share a dream that I had last night, but I'm going to hold it for a couple of days so that I can, get more clarity on it. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold it for a couple of days. Right? Thank you, Key. How you been? Oh, also, Key, make sure you check out the weekly tarot spreads for your zodiac sign. It's going to help you with the challenges. Busy as always. Remember, you got to take some time to hear what your next step is. You got to, because that's the only way you'll be able to move forward. This same particular client was telling me that, she was like, I feel like I'm in a cell, in a prison cell. This is how she started it out. And then she went on into the story that I had to tell her. She was like, I woke up in 2011, but I feel like people are just passing me by. And one of the reasons is because, a couple of the reasons is we go back to sleep because it gets too hard. It is a hard process to self-actualize and climb Jacob's ladder, meaning choosing to be a higher and a greater version of yourself. But that is the only way up is in. There ain't no other way. There's no other way. 2011. I don't know what was going on in 2011. I can say I don't know what was going on in 2011. I can't even. Okay, let me think about this. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a whole lot of reasons I can't remember. But 2011. Mm-hmm. So take some time to connect with your inner self, you know, to find out really this is boiling down to shadow work, serious shadow work. Like, what is it that triggers me? What is it that, and it's always from the childhood. It's always from the childhood. But we come in here with some things that we need to wrap up and close on a different frequency. Understand that these are lessons that we have just so that we can learn. They're not our identity. They're not our prison sentence. It's just to learn some very deep soul lessons so that you can ascend and you never have to deal with that lesson again. Right? It's the most rewarding but the most difficult thing you could ever do is to look at yourself and say, ooh, I don't like that about me. Everybody has to do it. And so it's normal, it's human nature. And if you're not doing it, then that's the pity and the shame. Is not evolving your soul. Because that's what the Lord tells us. He says, I'm going to give you 1 talent. I'm going to give you 3 talents. And I'm going to give you 10 talents, right? Then when the Lord came back, the person with 1 talent said, oh Lord, I hid my talent because when you came back, I wanted to make sure I had something to give you. And the Lord was like, I rebuke you. I gave you something and you didn't multiply it. You got to be kidding me. So you don't get no talents. I'm going to take what you got from you. But the person that has 10 talents says, Lord, I have 20 talents. I learned that I can do this, and I learned that I can do that, and I start doing this, and I start doing that, and I start doing this, and I start doing that. Then he was like, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you 10 more talents. So now they have 30 talents. And then they cultivate those talents. I'm going to give you some more talents because you're multiplying what I give you. So whatever you have an interest in, dig deep in it and learn about what it is and find out about it and be curious about it and turn it around and turn it upside down and get to know it, because somewhere in you, something in you has experienced that in a past life, and that aspect of your soul is wanting to express itself. So what it's going to do is going to bring you that ancient wisdom that you can't find in books. And it's going to teach you something that you don't know and that the world needs to know about. And you'll be the one in which it comes back through. And that's how you become great, because you used what was in you to create, really not even create, to self-actualize all the aspects of you. Because we are eternal beings having a human experience. This is not our first go around at all. This is about our millionth. But each lifetime, the challenge is understanding what the last time, understanding the karmic lessons from the last lifetime that you didn't close out, and closing them out in this lifetime so that you can experience a greater and a higher frequency, and that your DNA strands, we start out, when we came into this existence, this lifetime, as Kim and as Key, we came in with 2. But at this time, if we are going deeper into our shadow work and exploring the things that we love and that we like, and we're creating new gifts or unearthing new gifts and talents within us, then we're evolving our soul. And our soul doesn't forget, because we become gods. And that's why the Bible says, ye are gods. Not with a big G, but a little g. We're allowing the God in us to actualize and come forth through the human vessel. So understanding that we're not just here just to be here. We're here to evolve our souls. And it's very fulfilling. You learn how to accept people for who they are. You learn that this is not really my kind of person, so I'm going to pull back. They get mad, but oh well. Or I like her. That's my kind of person. I can see myself building with her, or I can see myself hanging out with her. I can see myself, you know, building a relationship with her. But we have to be very discerning in the relationships, because the karmics have a way of sneaking in and being and doing what we like from our human perspective, not from the soul level. It's both of those. If you like somebody from the human perspective, they're gonna mess you up. But if you can decipher between, what is it I like about this person? Is it because they remind me of somebody? Is it because he just handsome and he fine and he smells good and he la 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 whatever? Or that person's soul is attractive. They're not my type though. But it's something about them that just moves me. And something, the intellect is just like fantastic. But he's not my type. But I'm attracted to him. But normally I wouldn't even give him the time of day. But it's something about his intellect that draws me in. And then you find some magic that you never experienced before. Because before, I'm guilty. I'm guilty, y'all. Uh, that's why. Um, I had to. I do my shadow work on a daily basis when I'm attracted to something that my flesh is attracted to, but it's not good for my soul. I had to get to a point where I had to decipher, why do I like you? Because you fine as fuck. But you're not good for me. I ain't doing that no more, because it's detrimental to your soul evolution and to your physical life. It's detrimental. I wanted to share that with y'all today. Oh, but Key, the weekly tarot readings help out a lot, because you can, like, when something comes up that's challenging in the day, you can remember the messages that my spirit team and your ancestors and spirit team shared with me to share with you on how you get through it without, losing it or saying or doing things that is the same old way that you've been doing it, because we want to jump out of the loop. We want to jump to a different timeline and handle it differently. If I don't know, I get a bill that I'm like, this is not my bill. Am I gonna go off? Well, I guess I could. If you, I don't think the chat will stay. I'm not familiar with, wait a minute, let me see. Apichucas, but my spirit team is, so I can definitely do a reading on it. Sagittarius, Sag. Oh, boy, do I have some stories about Sag. Me and Sag, we have this love-hate relationship. Me and most Sages I meet, there's this love-hate relationship. And those relationships I have to let go. I had to let go. Ophiuchus. Let me do some research on it so that I can understand it a little more. I'll talk to my spirit team, and I'll definitely do. That's the mother. 13th zodiac. Okay. Ophiuchus. I'm getting some downloads right now. Okay. I'll do a reading on it tonight. I'm interested. I'm curious. Yeah. So, Key, I know you always busy, but you got to get that shadow work in. It sucks, but it's worth it because you come out somebody new. The who you know you already are. What's your exact birthday? Sag. Boy, y'all some motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. December 16th. Wow, you on the cusp. December 16th. I don't know why I have a lot of Sages in my life. Oh, I did. So interesting. But yeah, I'll look into that. But after this, will you put it in the notes so that I can, what part when you say I know? I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus to my soul. And let me tell you a little about a Taurus. A little bit about a Taurus. We do not mess with nobody. Yeah, that's true. Y'all are. Y'all are. Oh my God. Y'all a lot of fun too. Yeah. Yeah, but my favorite is a Virgo. Your twin flame is a Taurus. Oh wow. Oh. Maybe that's why. Oh wow. I'm a Virgo. I love Virgos. I personally love me a Virgo. Boy, we Taurus, boy, listen. We don't bother nobody. We don't bother nobody. I'm gonna say that one more time. We don't bother nobody. But you come fuck with us and we gonna wish. Wait a minute, I had a meme that said, what did it say? It was actually a video. And he was doing the diagram and he said, fuck around and find out. But we don't really bother nobody. Just like a bull, they don't bother nobody, but you pull that red sheet out and you keep, you know, I'm trying to stop using profanity. And we keep, you know, putting in front of us, very aloof, very confident, thank you. But we don't bother nobody. We don't want no smoke, none. We don't go looking for it, none of that. We fight for the underdog, but when you come for us, fuck around and find out. Simple as that. You don't mess with people that's not messing with you. We don't want no smoke. We really don't. But we don't mind a barbecue every now and then. Sometimes we gotta remind people. And hey, that's just life. Yeah, so interesting. I can cook too, and can cook. We love to cook. We love good luck. We love luxury. We love good food. We love to be surrounded by beautiful things and beautiful people. And we get it when we sniff that you're not beautiful in your soul. We out. Deuces. It don't matter how we ever felt about you. It overrides everything. Even if somebody can cook, we don't want they cooking no more. We don't want them to touch us. We don't want them to think about us. Don't look at me. Don't nothing me. Because I nothing you. I don't not dislike them. I don't like them. I nothing them. So the wheat and the tear, this is what it's coming to. And I'm going to go into agreements real quick. And this is what I shared with my client. Agreements come in a lot of different forms. We think that an agreement is saying, yeah, I agree. That's one form. But another form of agreement is keeping the door open to somebody that walked out on you, and they can come back in at any time. You agreeing to that behavior. But when you say, doors are closed, I wish you well, I wish all the best for you, and then you block them on everything, you don't get to ever reach out to me again. That's the close of that experience. You know, that's the close of that experience. Now I'm moving on to someone else because I don't want that energy in my life. I don't want the energy in my life of someone who will easily walk away from me. That's instability. Who wants instability in their life? Who wants a person that's non-committal? Even in a friendship, if you walk out of my life as if I don't have, as if my value, if I don't have any value to you, then we make you stand on that for life. And it changes. It changes. Before my awakening, I was the chaser. And it was because I was asleep. My soul man was asleep. And I didn't understand the dynamics of relationships. So if you walked out, oh, what did I do? How can I fix it? Da, 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 da. But now I understand that it's not about everybody else no more. This experience, this lifetime, is all about me. Meaning that if I get into a relationship with someone, there are boundaries within that relationship. There are levels to the relationship. You don't get wife access to me. You get friend access to me, which means you cannot call me after a certain time, which means that you don't expect me to answer like that. You get levels. And if you are not cool with that, then I'm cool with that, but we're not gonna move on. We're not gonna move in this relationship the way you want to. We're gonna move in a relationship that's best for me. And if you don't like it, then we're not good for each other. It's as simple as that. And I know that might sound selfish, but that's just what it is. I'm not gonna do anything harmful to you. I'm gonna keep it fair, but you don't get access to me. You only get access to me based on how you show up in the relationship. If you show up flighty, not trustworthy, you're going to be out real fast. If you show up the first 3 months good and solid, that's good. If we start having a conversation about moving it forward, that's good. If we decide to move it forward, then you get a little bit more access to me. You will never get 100% of me, ever. I'm only going to get 100% of me. Even as my husband, he'll never get 100%. Nope. That's just how it is. and I would go into more detail, but I would have to go into detail in Patreon on that, because that's when it gets real good. That's when it gets really good. You gotta earn it. Earn it. Earn it. You gotta earn it. And earning it is not by your words. You don't get to just say anything. I'm listening to every single thing, and if you're not able to back that up, I'm gonna push myself on back. Having experienced a lot of dysfunctional relationships, I had to learn a better way to approach relationships. And I learned. And the most important thing is you just have to be comfortable in your own company. You have to learn how to just connect with the people that are around you. And mine was not having this ideal person that I wanted to be with physically. Oh, okay. Is that better? My finger was over the mic. Let me know if that's better. Okay. Maybe I didn't need to say what I just said if it was muffled. Yeah. So, um, this is all about relationships. And the spiritual ascension is all about relationships. It's relationships within ourselves. I love me. I'm good with me. If I had to be just by myself for the rest of my life, I would be fine with that. I know that I'm not. But if I had to, I would be okay with that. Although I'm not. But when you get to that point, you realize that I'm not putting up with nothing that I put up with in the past at all. And being in very healthy relationships, loving relationships, kind relationships, I learned that I was in the wrong frequency of people because I didn't have the self love. So I was around those types of people that did not understand self love. So they do and act any kind of way. And as women, we sometimes don't speak up and say, I don't really like that because we're concerned that they're going to leave. Bye. If I speak up about something that I don't appreciate and you threaten to leave, you need to be gone anyway because that person is only trying to control you. But when we have not done our shadow work, because we've had dysfunctional families that didn't honor our presence, we don't know until we know. And so that's why, people say you got to learn to forgive yourself. I forgive myself because I was born into a family that didn't teach me. And so I had to walk it out. And that's not a complaint because I know it deeply. I know it from a soul level. So I won't mistake it when it comes to me again. You can't mistake something that has changed your soul. And that's what a lot of people want to run away from. The pain is there to change, to elevate your soul. And so what we want to do is we look at, why did I allow him to dishonor me? Because we were dishonoring ourselves, because we were dishonored within the family unit. And that's where we get down to the soul level of why we do what we do, why we feel about ourselves the way we feel about ourselves. So it was easy for me to forgive myself because I was born into a family that did not value my presence within their lives until it was gone. And when I'm gone, I'm 100% gone, never to return. And I don't get to that place lightly. It's that you pushed me there time and time again, so I'm going to make you stand on it for eternity. That's that bull. We stand. And it's pretty easy. And so this is where the age of Aquarius comes in, because we're able to see people's true motives. That people's true motives would be that he didn't really want to love me. He wanted to use me in whatever way he wanted to use me. Or my best friend only wanted to be around me because I brought the niggas around. you know, like, what kind of sense does that make? Who wants to be in relationships with people that are simply using you? And when you recognize that, you decide, well, that's not the type of person I want to be. So I've got to release that from myself, meaning it's my responsibility to recognize, have discernment of what this person really wants from me. Is she being nice to me, or she want to be my friend, or she want to go out with me because she likes me, or because it benefits her in some way? Or is this man with me because, I make him look good so he can date up? Or is he with me because he likes who I am as a human being? But when we recognize, he's only with me because I make him look good so that he can take a few steps up, then leave me behind. Like, what's the movie? Stella Got Her Groove Back. Um, I don't want to be with that type of person. I want to be with the type of person that sees me for who I am. Exactly. Ridding energy vampires, and that's exactly what it is. I was surrounded by them. They were all around me, everywhere. It's because that's the energy I was in, because I didn't love myself, because I didn't know what that meant, because I was raised in a family that didn't love and honor me. And so that's the easy part. I forgive myself because, yeah, I was born into it. And as far as the family is concerned, you know, when you recognize that they did not have your best interest at heart ever, then I'm gonna cut you off too. Ain't nobody exempt. I had to go through a very difficult awakening in order to see people for who they truly were, so that I could intentionally, consciously create a whole nother life that I want, surrounded by people that poured into me just as much as I poured into them. It was an equal give and take, not me always giving. And so I don't have a problem with sharing my my shadows. I don't have a problem with sharing the generational curses that I've experienced. I don't have a problem sharing anything. I'm very authentic and open, because the more I'm authentic and open, it helps other people see their lives too, and to see how they can level up their soul. It's all about soul evolution, because soul evolution is something, a whole nother game. Because as we release the shadows, the things that we are embarrassed about, the things that we're ashamed about, the things that we don't like about ourselves, as we release those things, we ascend mentally, and our DNA starts to reconnect. When our DNA starts to reconnect, then we get more gifts and talents that are already there. It's just that the DNA had to plug in, but it can't plug in with the negative processes because your frequency is too low. You got to raise up. You got to rise. You know how we say grand rising? We're rising to our greatness. We're rising to the Godhood, because God can't come down as far as we are when we think we're sinners and slime balls and ain't shit. We're in a low frequency. We can't expect to get anything from God. So we got to release all that stuff. The old things are passed away. Behold, all things have become new. And I get to create what the new is based on what brings my soul alive. I get to create it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the God in me, I get to create my heaven and my earth. But I get to live in my heaven and earth, if that makes sense. Because of the trauma and the mess that I was born into, I had to understand the low in order to strive for the high. You can't have one without the other. You can't have yin without yang. You can't have up without down. You can't have left without right. So we got to take the bitter with the sweet and walk through the bitter just the same way we walk through the sweet, with a smile on our face, knowing that this too shall pass. Let me just walk it out. And so we were talking about how everything in the world is speaking to us. For instance, the song, walk it out, walk it out, walk it out, right? It's true. You have to walk out these things. And like the one that's so most prominent in my mind is Drake and Kendrick Lamar, They Not Like Us. It's telling us that there are a group of people whose frequency is low, and that's where it's going to stay. And they come to steal, kill, and destroy, recognizing those karmics. And then recognizing our soul family, our tribe, and lining up with them and surrounding ourselves with them. You'll recognize them because they pour into you as opposed to sucking your energy. And sticking with those people. Because in the age of Aquarius, it's now about the tribes, the smaller tribes, like we're doing now, Key. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know how you're ascending. I want to know how you're growing. And at some point, I'll have classes where I can see you and you can see me and we can see everybody and we can discuss these things. It's not about the whole great big world. It's about going back to a tribal way of being, the way that we have come from before the war. Whether we know it or not, or whether y'all know it or not, we've been in a 500-year ongoing war that changes as the centuries change. It changes, but in Deuteronomy 28, God turned his back on us because of curses on the black folks. Because we turned away from the true and living God and we followed idols and we sold our soul for monetary gain, for money, for mammon. That's not even real. Fiat money is not even real. So that's why we got a curse, a 500-year curse on us, that no matter what we do, we can't get ahead. No matter what we do, the next person is getting something when we're more qualified, when we're able to run circles around them. We don't get it because it is a curse from the Most High God. There's nothing you can do to overturn the curse except sell out. And we have a lot of people that did that. And I try not to get too much on that because it gets really deep spiritually. Then I have to go through my spiritual warfare, which I'll do. I ain't running from it. But that's what it is. We're just now coming from under the curse. And I didn't know this while I was asleep. I'm just steady pushing away, trying to make things happen, pushing away, trying to make things happen, which that's what I should have done. I'm so glad that they didn't wake me up until it was time, because had I known that we were under a curse, I wouldn't have had no energy to continue to fight. But it prepared me. It all prepared me, and it all prepared us. And I'm sharing these stories not to just focus on me, but so that you can see yourself and see your stories within my story and know that you're not alone. Yes, it gets tiresome. Yes, it does get tiresome to see that a lot of our black men are not interested in black women because they have other interests. And y'all know what those are. I'm not going to get into that. But I also know that there are some very specific men for us if we endure to the end. Just as there are the curses in the right. Yeah. And it was just like college, actually. It was like what? I'll say from 30 to 50. I was in a very rigorous, for lack of a better word, college prep for the spiritual life that I'm now living. And I could not have been able to talk to you and be as authentic had I not gone through 30 years of, I'm going to say, chaos. And everything, it all worked out for my good. But if you look at it with the natural eye, it's not so good. But if you look at it with the spiritual eye, everything works for my good. And it catapulted me to my North Node. It catapulted me into the contractual agreement I signed before I entered this existence. I have an agreement with the Most High God that there were some things and some people and some that I had to do in order to ascend. So now I'm keeping my contractual agreement with the Most High God. If you're going to break agreement with somebody, the last person you want it to be is the Most High God. That's the last person I want it to be. So when you get deeper into your spirituality, then it's like the layers are pulled back little by little. When you're ready to find out this very traumatic thing, then they'll reveal it to you. They know that spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, you can handle it. But had they told me this 3 or 4 years ago, I probably would have had a breakdown. And the beautiful thing about that is that they send people to you that are your soul tribe, that they drop seeds. They don't necessarily just say it to you like I'm saying it to you. I get to say it to you this way now because of the time we're in. But at other times, they will just drop it in passing. And it was just a seed. And then when I'm going through something, my spirit guides remind me of something that somebody dropped in my spirit. And now I understand, okay, I see. I get it. It's very subtle. But as you release those traumas, then you're able to pick up on those subtle seeds. The spiritual realm is very, it just doesn't come out like I'm telling you most of the time. It's very subtle. And even in me speaking to you now, the things I'm overtly speaking to you are not the things that you're going to get. It's the things that, just casually are being said that's going to help you. Oh, am I on mute? Am I on mute or I put my finger down there again? Can you hear me? I love me a Virgo window. Next subject. Okay, I keep putting my finger down there. My bad. My bad. I'm an earth sign and they happen to be an earth sign as well. But you're a Sag. Oh, y'all something else. I can't. Um, I would have to first do a study of it. I know about sacred geometry a little bit. Um, I have very lightly touched on it. Not enough just yet to do commentary, but I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And this is the thing that is such a beautiful thing. The Most High God has a way of taking what people would consider a nobody and using them to bring the truth. It's always the one that people count out. Because we are in training. We don't have time to be bullshit with y'all. But, people look at Terrence like, oh, he's just an actor. But he was always in preparation. Everybody just doesn't know. They just don't know. People used to say, why are you so secretive? Why are you so quiet? Yeah, they are. Because this is the thing. We're the original, we're the Israelites. We're the true children of God. Meaning that we're able to receive messages directly from the Most High God, the secrets, the mysteries of the world. We're the only ones. We're the only ones that can make babies that look like every single ethnicity on this world. I can have a baby and she can come out looking white with green eyes. My uncle has green eyes. We can do that because of our genes, because we are connected to the mother. And so he was given these gifts and talents. See, these are the gifts and talents he dug into to find out, well, what is this and what is this and what is this, and twist and turn. And when God sees that you are faithful, he will, I cannot begin to tell you how many gifts and talents that I have. I can't, because he poured them on me when just maybe 10 short years ago, or I'm going to say even 6 years ago, I had no idea of the gifts and talents that were in me. I knew I had them. I was scared to use them because I was afraid of what people would think, because I was raised in church. And, you could be a prophetess and tell people what's going on, but you sure can't just be a psychic, because then they call you a devil. Oh, wow. And at some point, I will definitely study a little bit more on sacred geometry, because that is the code of the mother. But I do have some things, some products that are aligned with that. So I'm looking forward to releasing those, hopefully this year. And if you get a chance, go check out my podcast on Podbean. It goes over the Psalms. I'm starting to read about the Sibyls. The Sibyls are the original mothers of the earth, that everything was stolen from us and put a white man's face on it. We come to take our shit back. Yeah, for real though. For real. And in the Bible, it says in the Bible, the violent take it by force. Yeah, I'm going to go get my shit. If it's mine, I'm going to go get it. Regardless to where it is. If it's in the enemy's camp, I'm going to go get it. It's mine. Who's going to stop me? And that's where that's when I see red. How you going to steal something from me and think you're going to get away with it? No, you're not. Not today, not tomorrow, not in the next 100 years. I'm going to fight until I get it back. I can't stand a thief. Key, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I can't stand a thief. It's a lot of them out there too. Don't put up with no thief. They want to take yours. They want to take yours and claim it as theirs. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not forever. So, on my podcast, I started reading the book The Sibyls to remind people, because we have this memory that, like I said many a times, we were under the spell of Kingu so that we can forget everything. But the children of the Most High God, we're remembering now. And so, as the mothers do, we read stories to help the children remember who we are. Remind them who we are. Some of us are kings and queens. Not all of us. Some of us are thieves. But they try to pose themselves as king and queens, but they ain't. And we're in the age of Aquarius, where everybody is going to know who everybody is. You can't get over it. You can't get around it. You can't sleep for it. You can't, sleep with somebody to get into this. You can't buy your way in. Your authenticity, your truth, your bloodline is what is going to show you off to the world. You're going to be either a fake or you're going to be authentic. And you're not going to be able to hide it. All the games that they played up until this point, none of those rules are going to apply. None of those rules apply. This is the thing. Nothing that we have been living is true. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. How in the world is that possible? So these are the things that can break people's mind. When you wake up and realize your mama not your mama, your daddy not your daddy, your family sold you out so that they could live comfortable while you struggle, that your man never was your man. He was just using you. All this ugly stuff. It's ugly that grown people are sleeping with kids, little kids, 3 years old, 5 years old. All of this stuff is going to come out like this year. And nobody can run and nobody can hide. Our sins are going to be laid out before the whole world, or our honor and glory is going to be laid out before the whole world. People have been living this life like they're not going to have to give an account for who they are and the decisions that they've made. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work like that. That's not what it is. It's a whole nother world. Everything is recorded. What I'm doing right now is recorded. This conversation that we are having right now was written, that it needed to happen for whatever reason beyond my understanding. It was my responsibility to get on here and say what I have to say, so that somebody, whoever it is listening, whoever it is that's coming on later on, there was something that's coming out of my mouth that had to be said and had to hit somebody's ears, because I made a contractual agreement to let somebody know something in particular, and I'll never know what it is, to set people free. We have agreements. And that's why we have to get into our purposes, so that we can complete those contractual agreements we have with each other. I have a contractual agreement with my daughter. I had a contractual agreement with my mother. I had contractual agreements with my sisters. I had a contractual agreement with my father that had to be closed out. And if I didn't close them out, then I was going to have to suffer the consequence. I'm not into suffering consequences no more. I done had enough. You know, when they say I can't take now another one, not another one, that I just said, well, I'm gonna take this consequence. Now some things I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to go on and take this consequence, because I'm curious. I'm really curious about this one. That was when I was younger. I ain't taking no more consequences. They too expensive. And I'm not talking about money. But I am talking about some money too. It's everything. It's soul loss. It's missing your purpose. Missing out on your money, your inheritance. Missing out on quality relationships. Missing out on your soulmate. I got some unfinished business to do with my man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we got some unfinished business we got to take care of. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the whole thing. There's some unfinished business that needs to be taken care of that I'm looking forward to completing, because I got an agreement with him. But we won't cross paths until we both get it to a certain frequency where we're able to then complete the agreement that we have together with the Most High. So I have to work my way to it. He has to work his way to it as well. It's work to be done. So we've heard that all of our lives. There's work to be done. There's real work to be done in ascending. When I feel like I want to tell somebody off and I think about it in my mind, what is the consequence for this? What is going to be the consequence for this? Am I willing to pay this consequence? Am I willing to pay the price for cussing out my boss? Am I? Or for, am I willing to pay the price for, not doing what needs to be done? Well, they expensive. Like right now, everybody is having to deal with some things that they left undone. That's why it's so hard for most people right now, because we're being forced to deal with the things that we didn't deal with. And so don't look at it as a dread or, oh my God, I got to go through this. No, look at it as I'm closing out this chapter so that I can move forward. so I don't ever have to deal with it again. Let me just bear it. It's like a very difficult workout. Let me do everything that I can to finish up this workout so I will be done with this one. Because the next time I do it, it's not going to be, excuse me, as hard because I worked those muscles, right? Mm, mm. So this time in life, this time in life is good because thanks be unto the Most High God, we're able to close out cycles. Our ancestors weren't because the time, it wasn't the time. So they had to do things that they didn't want to do, and they didn't have any reprieve. Our reprieve is that we're in the age of Aquarius and we're closing out all the baggage if we choose to, so that we can move into the new earth, so that we can begin a new life under the blessing and the curse is closed. I have contractual agreement with my ancestors so that we could all be set free because, you know, if I were to have another baby, the ancestors are going to come back through that baby, but they're not going to come back in slavery. They're going to come back free. And then my daughter will have truly free babies, and her children's children will have free babies. And it's the ancestors coming back through that through help me close out all of these generational curses and karmic cycles so that they could come back through and be spoiled and be well taken care of and be well learned and be well instructed and be just well loved like it wasn't done in the past because of the generational curses. The generational curses come because people didn't want to be under a curse. So they sacrificed somebody in their family. So one person in the family carries the burden, the curse of the whole family. Oh, so you want me to walk around broke and don't have nothing and don't have nobody to love me and don't have no help while you just sitting over there living large, and then you look at me like I'm the problem? No, no, it's not gonna go like that, boo. That ain't how we gonna do it. So that's what I was talking about, the black sheep. The black sheep takes on the curses of the family. That's how they set it up. But when you get that black sheep, you don't know that that black sheep is the chosen one of God. And they are protected. They are protected because the ancestors are depending on them so they can come back through that bloodline and be free. Because we don't just live one life. We don't die. This Kim, this existence, this lifetime will end, but then I'm going to come back through my daughter's daughter. And when I come back through, I'm going to come back as who I truly am, living the way that I was created to live under the blessing. So I don't trip about nobody not liking me, nobody not accepting me, because I know this is an experience that I'm coming through this life to gain the lessons, to do what I need to do, and I'm going to move on. Who cares about what anybody thinks? I couldn't give a fuck. None. I told you I was trying to stop, what's the word? Profanity. Not cursing, because I don't curse people. It's a lot of people that do curse people. I'm trying to stop using profanity, which my ancestors, they let me do it. But, you know, sometimes that's a part of my evolution. When I get ready, I'll let it go. But I don't have no shame or guilt about it. I like it. I get to express myself. Our ancestors they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for an open heart. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for truth. And you can't get no more truth than you want to use the profanity to express yourself so somebody can feel it. Not justifying it, just sharing. So so that it has been real. I have some studying that I need to do. I probably will be on later this week. Um, and whatever messages the ancestors want me to share with you guys then, I'm more than happy to share. If you have any questions, suggestions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. I am going to Ophius. Is it Ophius? I am going to do a reading on Ophius tonight because I am interested. I might put it on YouTube. Yeah, I might put it on YouTube, depending on what comes up, what messages I get, and if I'm able to. But for now, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for chiming in. It was always a pleasure to speak with you. Oh, is it muffled again? My hand was down there. But until the next time, namaste. Bye-bye.